And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Mufasa's Daily Book Reading at Noon. I trust that you had an absolutely amazing weekend and that you've subscribed to our YouTube channel. The link to that YouTube channel, to our YouTube channel, is in today's description of today's video. What you'll also find is the link to the previous readings that we did of the book called Energy Leadership by Bruce D. Schneider in the description link as well. Remember to like and share our video, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reading the 9th chapter of Executive Coaching with Backbone and Heart, a systems approach to engaging leaders with their challenges by Mary Beth O'Neill. And we're going to be reading about the return on investment method for executive coaching. My 10 minutes is set. Let me start reading to you. Right. Okay. An ROI method for executive coaching. Have the client convince the coach of the return on investment. Hello to the person who's on this live right now. I hope you're well. Although executive coaching is a well-established practice in the corporate environment, its benefits are more obvious to clients than to the accounting department. This chapter presents practitioners with a method for demonstrating a quantifiable return on investment for their work and clients, and addresses the needs of executive coaches working in the field rather than those of research and academics regarding research methodology. The main focus of this chapter is a how-to method for an executive coach or consultant. It not only addresses the issues of ROI, but also directly involves the client in evaluating the bottom line benefits of coaching. An experienced practitioner who understands how organizations work can successfully implement this ROI strategy. And you like this greeting by Ayanda there. Good to see you. I use ROI here as it is colloquially applied in our culture, generally to refer to the financial gains that business executives want to see compared to the cost they pay. There's an ongoing conversation in the training, organizational department, organizational development, and executive coaching field about the formula is more useful for clients. ROI percentages or benefit cost ratios. Each of these terms has a specific meaning and formula. I prefer the benefit cost ratio because I think it is more accessible to coaches and clients, particularly those who are just beginning to apply fiscal thinking to coaching interventions. However, when referring to the general discussion of measuring coaches' effects on bottom line results, I use the term ROI because that is the language most frequently used in conversations and the media. Most practitioners I talk to are stymied by 3 dilemmas in identifying the ROI of their work. The first dilemma goes like this. I work on the soft side of the business, the development of people skills in a client. How could I ever define and measure that? Besides, I'm completely intimidated by research and statistics. It's not my thing. The second dilemma, for those who have some confidence in their quantitative skills, is uncertainty about how to link a client's development to measurable business results. I can measure the shifts in a leader's attitudes and the team's perspective on the leader's effectiveness. But how do I link those to the bottom line? Some practitioners say, I've even been able to measure shifts in organizational goals among those I have coached, such as retention and promotions. But I don't know what elements of the coaching and consulting efforts, if any, created the change. The third dilemma comes from a values conflict best expressed as, if I take on the responsibility of measurement, then I'm doing the client's job for them. I've stepped over the line. I've become responsible for bottom line results rather than for methods that lead to executive developments. Anything I do that weakens the client's sense of responsibility for results erodes my effectiveness. If you have if you have experienced any of those dilemmas yourself, take heart. There is a way to determine what effect the client's changed behavior have on bottom line results. Of the past 10 years, I developed a coaching strategy, beginning with the contracting phase that not only linked client development to the bottom line results, but also allows the client to retain full responsibility for her business results, linking her developmental challenges and improvements to those results. So you will find the contracting phase we did read. That's the first phase for her methodology, which we read about. So you will definitely find that on our YouTube channel. It is in a playlist, and I think it's the second reading, which I will also link then to this description of this live, so you can easily access it. So at the end of the live, you'll go onto our page and it will be there for you to access. The 3 key factor methodology. You're already familiar with the first step in setting up executive coaching efforts to calculate ROI. Identifying a client's 3 key factors, see chapter 5, which we also read. Besides giving the client's targeted goal to work towards, target the 3 key factors have 2 other advantages. My apologies. The 3 key factors have 2 other advantages. Firstly, they identify the bottom line results and the leader and team variables that could most affect those results. 2, all 3 key factors lists are measurable. The business results are measured in time, money, quantity, or quality metrics. The leader, interpersonal behavior, and the team interactions are specific and observable actions that are verifiable in quantity. Did it happen? How often did it happen? And quality, how well did it happen? This is very nice. To what extent did the behavior include all the components necessary? This is another critical reason to drive to observable behavior rather than using global terms when your client first creates the list. For example, be more decisive will never be measurable with any satisfaction, but identify when a decision is going to be made. Declare which decision-making style I am using and summarize at the end of each meeting what decisions were made. Give you and your client measurable sticks for decisiveness that can be tracked. So it's just having clarity, being clear in what you actually want to measure. During your early work with your client in defining the 3 key factors, you can tell her that you and she will return to those lists at the end of the contract to calculate your return on investment. It is another reason to be thorough in setting up the 3 key factors on the front end. In addition, it gives you and your client a checklist or biofeedback mechanism to use during your coaching engagement to check progress towards each of the 3 key factors. Right. Assessing other variables. In order to identify a return on investment for the coaching engagement with the client, it is essential to explore with your client the other variables besides coaching that will affect the likelihood of success of all 3 key factors. I do it early, right after identifying the 3 key factors with the client. This will be important when a formula that isolates the coaching variable is calculated at the end of the coaching contract. I have learned to ask the client to create a list of 4 kinds of variables, and I think this is going to be the last thing we read today. So these are the 4 kinds of variables. Variables internal to the organization that improve the chance for success, including the current strengths and assets of the leadership team and the larger organization. The second one is internal organizational variables that detract from success. The third one is variables external to the organization that help lead to successful results. And then the fourth one is external variables that may jeopardize success. Executives need to be reminded to consider positive internal variables. They are used to assessing negative threats. They forget that they forget what they have in their favor. So remember what you have in your favor. May the odds forever be in your favor. And I think that will conclude our reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really did as well. I did. I really like these variables, the 4 kinds of variables we should create. I think we can create them for ourselves as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you on Wednesday, and then the last reading for this week will be on Friday. So just remember that the readings will be Monday, Wednesdays, and on Fridays. Enjoy the rest of your week. Make sure that you do follow us on our social media platforms, our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and keep an eye out on our Facebook page for other relevant coaching content and some other stuff that we are doing as well. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you on Wednesday.